Hello everyone, welcome back to the 50,000 spin test. In today's video, we are going to test their turtle walk system. I came across this particular video here from the channel Be a Master by Nuno Silva, and I thought, hey, that's intriguing. I don't think I've ever tested a system like this, so I thought, let's do this for the second 50,000 spin test. It's a simple outside bet system. In the video, they use black red. In my testing, I'm going to use high and low. Over 50,000 spins, it's not going to matter which you use, be it high, low, black, red, even, odd. I chose high, low because it's the easiest to model. Um, it's the system is sort of a modified martingale. So the progression is 111 222 444 888, and so on. So you give it 3 shots at each one instead of just immediately martingaling. So I thought this was intriguing enough to run a test on. If you want a longer sort of explanation of someone playing it, you can watch the video. I'll put a link in the description. But I'm just going to demonstrate it really quickly. All right. So first of all, you have to wait for a trend to form, and they define a trend as 2 of the same color in a row. And then you start betting. So I'm going to bet 1. I got to remember where I'm at 5,005. We spin. Okay, that's a unit of profit. 5,006. There's another 7. Okay, now we get our first loss, which means we'd move on to phase 2. So we'd go from this one over to this one. But first we have to wait for a new trend to form. And we got it, 2 blacks in a row. So again, 1. Okay, we got a win there. Go again. Okay, we got a loss. Okay, so now we got to wait for another trend to form. Okay, we did. We're going to move on now to phase 3, which is the third one. And you have to make sure you remember where your profit, your high profit was, and I've already kind of forgotten, because each time you get into profit by 1 unit, you start over back at phase 1. So I'm going to go 1 here. We're on phase 3, and we got a loss. We're going to go on to phase 4, but we got to wait for a trend. Okay, we got 1 on black, so 2 units. Hit there. Okay, we got a miss. Wait for another trend to form. We'll move on to phase B5. 2. Got a hit there. I think 7 was my high, so I'm trying to get over 5,007. And boom, there we go. So now that we went to a new high here, you would just start over at phase 1 with 1 unit and keep going like that. Okay, so if you want a longer, like I said, if you want a longer sort of explanation of the strategy, you can watch the video. But for now, we're just going to move straight into the test. And here it is. Obviously, not very good. So just a quick walkthrough here. Again, 50,000 spins. Get out here in the bottom. You can see 50,000. You can see all the no plays. That's because it's waiting for a trend to form. So finally, like here, for example, like I said, in the test, I did high, low instead of black and red. So you can see here, we got 2 lows in a row. So we played here. We got a high, so that was a loss. And then we had to wait for a trend, no trend, no trend, no trend. Then finally, we get 2 highs in a row here. We play again, but we get a low, so a loss. Here we got 2 highs in a row, so we played high and we got a win. So you can see that's how it's that's how it's working, just as explained. And here is the stakes changing. And this is what the balance looks like over 50,000 spins. You can see it started off pretty good, and then just sort of rolled over. For the purposes of modeling, I took the progression all the way to 64 units. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 8, 8, 8, 16, 16, 16, 32, and 64. And if you lost on the last bet of 64, so the third bet of 64, it just started over. That's how I ran the model. You can see it resulted in losing 8,031 units, max drawdown of 10,000, profit factor of less than 1, 0.96. We won 48.9% of the spins, played 47.7% of the time. So now moving on to the modification portion of the test. Let's see if we can modify it and make it profitable. So the first thing I did, just like in the last strategy on the first video, is I instituted a trend filter. And so what this trend filter is going to do once I click update and calculate the sheet, instead of it just adds another filter. So in this case, we got two lows in a row, um, and we play low. But with the trend filter on, we would only play this if the low is currently the highest trending of the high and low. So if in this case, if um if the lows were hot, in other words, we define it by the trend filter, then you would play the low. But if the high was the trending one, we wouldn't play this. We would skip it. So that makes sense. And then this is the filter. So this is saying whichever high or low is the lowest. If it's above whatever number we put here, we don't play. And again, that's to filter out if it's like really 50-50, meaning neither one of them is trending very strongly. So in this case, we're only going to play if we get two in a row and the lower of the two is trending at 44% or less. And again, the look back period is 100, so it's looking at the previous 100 spins. All right, so now if we calculate the sheet with these new settings, you can see what happens. It looks a lot better. You can tell this is a martingale related strategy just by looking at this chart. For any of you who've seen that, this is what they all look like. But this one survives 50,000 spins, and I can guarantee you a traditional martingale system is not going to last 50,000 spins and be positive. So that's pretty cool to see, it actually works. So we ended up with positive 1,688 units with a max 677 unit drawdown, 1.1 profit factor. We won 50.2% of the bets we placed, which is good. If it's over 50 and you're playing an outside bet. But just like the last one, in order to get these kind of results, you have to institute a trend filter like this, which means you're going to have to be really patient, because instead of playing almost 50% of the spins like we did in the standard version, we only are playing 13.5% of the spins in this modified version. So you can see there's a lot more no plays. I also had a toggle in here I could change where instead of waiting for two in a row before we start the trend, to just playing basically follow the winner. So just waiting for one. But then my Excel sheet crashed and I hadn't saved it, so it's not there anymore. When you're working with data files this big, it's easy for Excel to crash. But I can tell you, before it crashed, I saw that it's actually worse if you change it to just follow the winner. You get the best results by waiting for two in a row. So anyway, keep this one short and sweet, under 10 minutes. Let me know if you have any comments below, or if you have another strategy you want me to test. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.